Welcome back to Apple's iOS Weekly Update. In this episode, we're diving into even more iOS 18 features and changes. Plus, we'll discuss why the next Apple Watch might be a letdown, Apple's stance on Meta, Samsung's blatant imitation of Apple, a crazy AirTag story, and much more. If you want to stay updated with everything Apple, be sure to hit that subscribe button and check out the free Apple Den newsletter. Let's kick things off with even more iOS 18 features and changes. Firstly, RCS support is finally on the iPhone. You can now text with someone on an Android device and see read receipts, typing indicators, and full-quality videos without the usual SMS and MMS compression. This currently only works in the US for Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. It's not as secure as iMessage, but it's a step up from SMS. In the Podcasts app, we now have chapter markers on the scrubber. As you fast forward or rewind, these markers appear with detailed information and timestamps. It's a nice touch that enhances navigation. For music lovers, the Music Haptics feature in iOS 18 Beta 2 works better on the now playing screen. Though still a bit buggy from the control center, it's an improvement from Beta 1. In Settings, under Accessibility, we now have a new toggle for Show Math Results in the keyboard section. If you don't want math notes to auto-solve, you can turn this off. If you're a fan of tinted icons, they now look better in Beta 2, with more depth to the colors. And finally, we have a new Quick Notes action on the lock screen. You can add a quick note directly from the lock screen without unlocking your device. Moving on to the Wallet app, adding a debit or credit card is now easier with a new NFC feature. Just tap your card against the phone, and it's added. Manual entry is still available if needed. For Apple Pay Cash users, the Tap to Cash feature is now active in Beta 2, streamlining your transactions. There's also a new wallet widget for connected cards, letting you see your balance and card details right from your home screen. In iOS 18 Beta 2, we have two new background sounds, Night and Fire. These sounds are now enabled and sound amazing. Definitely try them out if you enjoy background sounds. For iPadOS 18 Beta 2 users, you can now format external drives directly from the Files app. In the Photos app, accessing hidden and recently deleted albums now requires an extra confirmation step. The animations in the Photos app are also smoother, and you can now add photos to albums more easily. This week, we also got a new firmware update for all AirPods, addressing a security issue. Make sure your AirPods are updated to the latest firmware for improved security. Now, let's talk bugs. iOS 18 Beta 2 has quite a few, with the most notable being app icons not showing up until you enter and exit the app. Performance-wise, Beta 2 seems on par with Beta 1, though there are more UI glitches. Battery life remains a challenge, with many users reporting heavy battery consumption. Hopefully we'll see improvements in Beta 3, expected in about 2 weeks. In Apple news, there was confusion this week about Apple's potential partnership with Meta. Initial reports suggested Apple was considering integrating Meta's Llama LLM into iOS 18, but Bloomberg later clarified that these talks never progressed due to privacy concerns. Apple prefers ChatGPT and sees Google as a future partner. Regarding the Apple Watch Series 10, CAD renders suggest we might not see the radical redesign many were hoping for. It looks like the same design with a larger display, which might be disappointing for those expecting a big change. Meanwhile, Samsung's upcoming Galaxy Watch Ultra and Galaxy Buds 3 Pro look suspiciously similar to Apple's designs. It's clear Samsung isn't trying to hide their inspiration from Apple. Lastly, we have another crazy AirTag story. A car heist operation called Operation Hellcat was busted after thieves used AirTags to track stolen vehicles and key fobs. The police eventually arrested 6 individuals involved in this elaborate scheme. That's all for this week's update. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on next week's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.